That's it.
Alright, let's see if I can find it here.
I need to put
my
that.
randomizers up. Wonderful, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got my piece of paper. There's a rock star, thank you.
I need to put in our name on there. You have to get hooked into that before I can.
Pages or groups? I think it's a page, right?
Go up here. Go up here. Right there.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now, let's see.
That's it right there. You got to go to products and connect. There. Got to connect to the live. Products.
There it is.
Today's date. Connect to live. Okay, now I can put in our title.
Perfect.
Hello, ladies. I see some of you are already there. We're going to try this silly microphone again. So once I get it hooked up, y'all are going to have to yell at me if you can't hear me. We're going to figure this darn thing out if it takes us a lifetime, and it might. Robin's over there doing her magic to get all set up on her end of this thing. You have no idea, girls, how much fun we have getting this thing started every week. Okay, now it's connected. Can you hear me now? Somebody tell me, can you hear me?
I hear it. Yep.
Everybody okay on the sound? Yay! Thank you, Deborah. Squeeze past you. All righty. Looks like we're a couple of minutes early, so we'll give people time to get all on there. Hey, Kay. Everybody is all set up, excited to watch tonight. Yay. It sure got to beat the heck out of watching the news, doesn't it? I don't even want to turn. Hey, Sue. I never even want to turn on the TV anymore. Ever. It's just getting disgusting. So we're just going to keep doing live. Hi. Thanks, Sheila. Everybody start sharing now, because tonight we're going to do it a little bit differently. Everybody who shares gets their name in a drawing. Tonight, whoever wins that, we're going to add a $10 credit to your account. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Jackie. Taking an applique class. Cool. I bet I know where that was. We're going to draw numbers from those who are sharing. And one person will get a $10 credit on their account tonight for that. Easier than sending you fat quarters. We'll let you spend some money. How's that sound? Hey, Teresa. Welcome to the gang. So that's 2 of my Leavenworth buddies here already tonight. Good. Jackie shared too. Good. And Deborah shared. See, everybody wants that money, man. I'll tell you what. Everybody wants their money. Gotta love that. It's the way of the world. Being a democratic society, we love to get our money and be able to spend it. It is the way we like to do business. And what are you going to do? You're going to spend it on quilt supplies. Now there's a real negative, isn't it? Not even close. I am so proud of all of you. You've done so much for us that I've been watching the numbers over the last few weeks we've been doing this, and our viewership has almost doubled every week. Now that is including the post live time when it goes on to the website or the Facebook page and people look at it. But it is still good that everybody's there. Hey Nancy, welcome. So get to sharing, Nancy. Somebody's going to win $10 gift certificate on the shop tonight for sharing. So you got to find somebody you can share it to. Y'all can't just share it with each other. Nancy used to live here and she moved to Colorado. Her weather's not as good as ours. Boo. But that's okay. She likes cold weather stuff. I'm seeing this quilt sticking out here, and it looks like some kind of critter back there. It's just a quilt sticking out there. How are we on time? Okay, it's after 7, so we'll get started. So everybody's ready to play tonight. Okay, if you have registered before, you do not need to register again. If you have not registered, you really need to. That does not commit you to anything. All it does is get you in there, so if you do order something, it makes it easy to invoice you and get that merchandise to you. It also makes it easy for us to draw a name when we go to do prizes. And we all love prizes. Okay. Tonight, you want to stay all the way to the end. Last week you asked for demos. So tonight we're going to do demos. Or at least one. I probably would have gotten some more done, but I've had a lazy week. What can I say? So we're going to do that at the end. Now, those of you who have been watching for the last week or so know what these are. They're actually tickets, but they're spelled backwards on your screen. From now until December the 17th, you're going to get one ticket for every $10 you spend. Now, that does not include shipping, if there's a tax, any of that kind of garbage. Just on the merchandise. And on the 17th of December, I'm going to draw some tickets, and we're going to have some people win quilts, finished quilts. So if you're really generous, you can give them away as Christmas gifts. Or if you're like me and selfish, you keep it for yourself. And that's okay too. It's just there as a gift. And have my tickets pinned to my design wall. We used to have so many in the store doing this. They would come in with notebooks with these on spreadsheets by number. Sometimes they would be have them in the plastic sleeve protectors all run out, and it would take sometimes half an hour for them to find their name, because when we had the big store, you had to be present to win. So I didn't bother putting names on these. Now I'm putting your name on these, and I'm sending you the other half when I send your merchandise out to you. So I'm trying to make it a little easier for you. It's taken a lot of writing, but I'm worth it. I'm good at it. Okay. Now, last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about curved piecing, and I showed you this quilt. This uses the Drunkard's Path 8-inch template. This one, I started this one a long time ago, and I finished it up in one of my Finish It Up Friday videos a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, I don't remember. But this was done with a 4-inch template. They're both done in the very same way, and that's what I'm going to show you later on tonight, is how to make that work the easiest for you. So the first item we're going to show you tonight is the 4-inch template, but I'm not going to show you the template. I'm just going to show you that it's sold 100. This one is $9.99. This makes a finished 4-inch block. If you haven't done curved piecing, it is a little bit slower than straight piecing, but it's fun. I really enjoy doing it. I'm not perfect at it, but I have found that any errors I make get lost in the seam allowance. So everything's flexible. If you go look at the old vintage quilts that we all drool and love so much, they weren't perfect, and we shouldn't try to be perfect ourselves. God only made perfect one time, and my God, look what we did to him. So I don't even try. I just try to get as close as I can. And I love this little quilt. This was done all in 30s, and they were just single patches using the same background. Now this one was done with strips using everything but the kitchen sink. Love this quilt. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so the next thing we're going to show you tonight is the actual template for the 8-inch. Now the 8-inch template is number 101. This one's $19.99. The thing I love about this style templates, and there have been templates out for a long time, but the thing I love about these are the little slits in it. As you can see, there are little hash marks here. So, and I'm going to show you how that works when you go to cut your pieces and make them fit together easily. The woman that came up with this is a genius, just an absolute genius. So the slit and sew templates are great. You just don't want to say that too fast, or I don't. So number 101 is the 8-inch Drunkard's Path slit and sew templates. It's $19.99. And we'll get to that little demo here in a few minutes. Those of you who were here last week, we did do a little demo on these. These are the pressing bars for doing your seams. You're pressing your seams when you're pressing them open. These are made locally by one of our guild members, and you're just taking that seam, opening it up, and running your iron along it, and it spreads that seam out beautifully. Very handy tool. All of the ones that we have are different, so I did not list them on the site in individual colors. They are all in Sewing Notion fabric, and I didn't do them individually because I knew you'd all want the same one, and she might not have any more of that fabric, so you're just going to have to trust us to send you a great one. These are the pressing bars. They're number 102, and those are $12.99. These are lightweight. Hi, Susan. I really love it. You can tuck it into your case when you're going to a retreat if we ever get out of lockdown. I know we will someday, and we'll get to have a good time again. And we will. It'll come. In the meantime, we all stay home with a mask on our face. Or if we go out, we have a mask on our face. And hopefully, we have people who are covering their nose. I don't understand the thought process of people who have them here. What do they think they're accomplishing? Anyway, okay. Anniversary coming up. We've got the tickets on that. Now, because you have all gotten your oh, Sheila says it keeps the seam from getting caught in the point of the iron when you're using the pressing bars. See, I learned from you just as you learned from me. Now, we finished the challenge. We're going to wait and say, let's say We're going to meet next week, and we'll skip Thanksgiving week. So, first week of December. If everybody can have a photograph to me in an email or on Facebook, maybe an email is going to be better because I want to have a team of shop owners look at all of them and choose winners. One prize will be a $25 box of, I've forgotten what I said I was going to, yeah, $25 thing of supplies. I can't remember. Heck, y'all remember. I'll look it up and give it to you next week. I'm getting my things confused. It's been a hard day. Amen. Went outside, heard the dog barking his head off, and there's this big, huge yellow snake in the yard. He's tightly wrapped around a big rat, squeezing it to death. And then he tries to bite the dog. We get the dog inside, and then I did a video of him trying to slither up through my hedges with that big rat in his mouth. Yesterday, with this hurricane, we had 4.5 inches of rain, and every critter out there in the preserve behind my house decided to come crawling up in my yard. Now, if I see an alligator, I'm out of here. Sorry, just gonna be gone. Don't like critters. I really do not. Neighbor and I were out in the yard night before last. This big raccoon was trying to get in her trash can. And I said, this so-and-so probably came out of, yeah, Jackie Holy, came out of the preserve behind me. One night, a couple of years ago, there was a bobcat that came out around my fence. So I live in the wild woods here. So instead of starting another mystery quilt tonight, last week we started with our challenge. We are all so sick of the year 2020. Lady Macbeth said, out, out, damn Spot. Well, we're saying, out, out, damn 2020. And that's our challenge. And it's named right here on your envelope. The Lady Macbeth Out, Out, Damn 2020 Challenge. In your packet, it will come looking just like this. Isn't that cute? It's $7.50. Now, I tried to put it in the system where you weren't charged shipping on it. Haven't figured that out. So if it charges you shipping, I'm just going to credit that back to your account, and you'll have that on your account to deal with, if that's the only thing you order. This contains the pattern and the fabric to make one block. The only requirements, and the requirements are in here as well, is that you make at least 4 blocks, put it together, put a border on it. I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to want to make more than that. Actually, no, we've got one person who shall remain nameless who has already done 6 blocks and has 7 more cut out. So, easy block, fun quilt to make. This will be due, your quilt, the picture of your quilt will be due by December 31st. And this is the one we will have it judged by a panel of shop owners. It's always good to have friends who will take responsibility for something and you don't have to do it. And in that one, that's where I was getting confused. $25 box of quilt supplies, $50 box of quilt supplies, and a $100 box of quilt supplies. That is number 103. It is $7.50. That's for your one block. We are going to have so much fun with this. I've just been surprised and pleased with how many people have already signed up and are doing it. It is so much fun. You can do it any way you want to. You can use these fabrics. You can not use these fabrics. I don't really care. You can do it with 2 colors. You can do it multicolored. You can do it with 3 colors. It is totally up to you. You can do the blocks straight. You can do them on point. You get creative with it. This is just a chance to give it a try. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's just fun to do. I've already made this quilt once. Cheater, spoiler, I did it in 2 colors. But that's me. So you can have fun with the challenge block. And you might win some wonderful things. We will have another mystery pattern, hopefully by the first week of December. Again, those patterns will be free. All you have to do is watch us and you will get them. And I love it. I just love doing them. I just have been a little crazy trying to get one written because the fabric companies are after me to start working on the next market. And I was telling Robin tonight, some of the best news ever. We are actually going to have a fall quilt market next year. And I already have my hotel reserved at the Hilton in Houston for October 2021. Whew. Those rooms are like gold. They opened them this Tuesday at 11 o'clock. At 11:02, I had my room booked, and by 11:30, all the rooms were gone. So it's going to be a fun market and all kinds of new stuff. It's just going to be like the opening of Quilt World. We're going to be having so much fun. And should camp out in your room. I'll tell you what, it's a wild place. It really is. And if you can envision going into a convention center where you might have 2,500 big quilt shops, all just lined up in rows, it is heaven. The energy in it is amazing. Can I park the RV in the parking lot? You can't go, Susan. It's only for shop owners. Sorry, baby. But you can go to festival. They will have festival the week after. So I'm sure they'll be opening up those reservations as well. If you can get reservations in the Hilton or one of those right around there, it's so nice because they're a little more expensive, but you're within walking distance. The Hilton, you just walk across a bridge and you never even have to go outside, which has been a blessing because sometimes it's kind of nasty weather down there too. But I'm so excited about it, and I'm excited because I have another shipment of fabric coming in tomorrow, so we have some new stuff to look at next week. Okay, Robin is saying, pull a number to share. Okay, from all you people who have shared, hey Lene Finnegan, how are you? I saw your Veterans Day picture. Good for you, girl. Okay, Robin is pulling a number. Do 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 do. Who have we got tonight? Nancy Doyen, you win a $10 credit on your account tonight for your shopping pleasure. Hooray! Lene, that I was just saying hi to, used to work for me, and she's an Army veteran, and she's a really cool person, not to mention a really great quilter. So, okay. Now, the next thing on our list tonight, is that right? Yeah. We have 21 2.5-inch strips of batiks. These are assorted strips, and they are number 104. It's $19.99. Your colors will vary. These are ones we are curating here in the store. They are not something we are purchasing in a jelly roll style from a company. Susan asked me if the mystery packet is different each week. You mean the challenge packet, Susan? You only need one. You're going to use that to create your own quilt using that pattern and your own fabric. Obviously, if you want to buy fabric from me, twist my arm. I'll let you do that. But the packet is the pattern and enough fabric to do one block. From there, go have fun with it. I don't think there's anybody watching tonight who doesn't have some fabric in their house. And maybe you have something that you've been collecting and, oh, thanks, Sheila, that you haven't figured out what you want to do with. So that challenge block may be the way to go. Don't be that person who sits around and says, oh, I've got all this, but I can't cut it. You can cut it, said one who still has some that hey Jolene, how are you? Another Leavenworth person stepping in. Good for you, thank you. I actually have a really cool piece of fabric. We did a thing in the store one time. We had kind of a yard sale where everybody could come in and sell stuff they didn't want. And I actually bought a piece of fabric from someone, and it was 4 yards. And it's gorgeous. Trouble is, every time I think I've got something I want to use it with, it either needs 3 yards or 5 yards or 4.5, and I don't want to waste a square inch of it, so it still sits on the shelf. When I'm dead and gone, it'll probably be still sitting on the shelf, but at that point it won't be my problem. So, okay. Now, some of you in the last couple of weeks have purchased the spray bottles, the misting spray bottles, which I do dearly love. And this week I got a new shipment in that are even better. And don't anybody hate me because you bought one of the others. You just need these 2. There are 3 different designs. It's Mrs. Buttons. This one says, friends don't let friends go to the quilt shop alone. Isn't that adorable? I love these because the mist is very fine, and I keep them on my ironing board with water, with Mary Ellen's Best Press, all kinds of stuff. This one is number 105, the Friends one, and they are $14.99. Yes, they are a little bit more expensive than the clear ones, but you got to admit they're cuter. So that's number 105. I've got so much stuff on my table tonight because I can do the demo that, hey Danita, I don't have room to move. Okay, this one says, nothing like a little color therapy to brighten your day. And I just think she's so cute in this one. Aren't those darling? That is number 106. Same price, $14.99. Cute, cute thing. Hey, Stephanie. Jackie says they're worth every penny. Yes, they are. They are just fantastic. And this one, the last one. She is the Iron Maiden. Aren't we all? Isn't that cute? Number 106. Hi, Kay. Aren't these fun? I love these. And they're $14.99. We had just gotten in a shipment of them. Seems my shipments are coming like the day after we have our little chat. I was telling Robin tonight, I sent a note to Maywood Fabrics, and I asked them to send back my some of my quilts so I could show them to you, the ones that I had done for this last non-existent market. And I didn't get a chance to show them to you. And so they said, yeah, we'll get them right out. We'll get them right out. Well, with this hurricane coming down on us, I got a little concerned about it. And so I sent her a note, and I said, can you give me a tracking number on it? I really don't want them sitting out there and blowing away like my hibiscus bush did today. So about 2 hours later, I get a tracking number. They shipped them yesterday. So they'll be here. I'll have some of those next week, too, to show you. Some really fun stuff that we got to do last year. In 6 months last year, during this pandemic, I wrote, pieced, and had quilted 3 blocks of the month and 3 single patterns. I don't think I've sewn that much in the last 20 years. It was just hysterical. So a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And so we'll get some of those back, and I'll be able to show them to you. They won't all come back at once because they're in a trunk show, and some of them are out at other shops to be shown and that sort of thing. But periodically, we'll get some back, and then you can see them as well. And I'm thrilled to death about that. Now, we are getting ready to turn my little iron on. We're going to show you how this Drunkard's Path works. And it's going to look a little ugly here for a minute because we're going to have to pick up and move the whole tripod to get over here so you can see the camera or the image. So bear with us. And no derogatory remarks about my tacky looking sewing room here. Okay, just tip it down. Yeah. That ought to get it about, maybe back up. There you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tell me where.
There you go. Thank you.
Did it hold?
Yeah, it did. Now this is what, I'm using the 8-inch tonight for you to see. This is what you want your block to look like. It's got a nice smooth finish. As I said, I'm not perfect. You can see right here, I'm off just a smidgen and a little smidgen over here. Doesn't matter. That's going to get sewn into your seam allowance, so you don't have to worry about that. When this is cut with the templates, you can see here that it's got these little slits. Can you see those? Get my finger where you can see it. Maybe against the darker fabric, or the lighter fabric rather. So you're going to line up your side seam and just give it a little pin. You want to match up the slit on the bottom and the slit on the top. Set your stitch length a little shorter. I have this one at 2. Normally I sew it about 2.5. Now the designer of this said she sets hers at 1.8, but my thoth doesn't adjust to that size. And then you're just going to make about 3 stitches with your needle down. Take your pins out and then just line up your next slit. You know, there's that first one right there, and just sew right on around to that. Come on, move. This is my old machine. Okay, and then just ease that all the way around from slit to slit. Okay, like I said, it's a little slower than straight stitching, but not horrible. I just stretch it over just a little bit. Remember, we're working on a bias here, and that's really the beauty of this, because you can work on that bias and get them to lay down flat. And this is the same process regardless of what size block you're making. I admit it's a little bit more tedious when you are doing the 4-inch versus the 8-inch, just because you're working with smaller pieces of fabric. And you just keep easing that around and go all the way to the end.
Anyway, you can move your left hand a little bit out of the way.
Am I in the way? You can't
Just
see
a
me?
little, yeah, just a little bit hard.
Okay, let me see if I can get that out of the way a little bit.
See if I can move it in just a little bit more.
Is that better?
That's cramming you. I apologize.
No, it's fine. We're going to have to work out these demos to where we can get this, where you can see it better. I know there's a way to hook up 2 cameras, but I am not the most technologically advanced human being in the world. So we'll get there. I'm in the process of rebuilding my website. I have 3 weeks to finish it because oops, I got that one off. The company that's been hosting my website for the last 20 years is retiring. And so that's a challenge all its own. All right, now, when you get this finished, you're going to want to press it to the big side. They say the dark side in the pattern, but it might not be the dark side. So let me hit that with the iron.
Miss Faye had a question about the block of the month. She said, how do they get notified about block of the month?
Block of the month.
I'm not sure if she was talking about the...
Are you talking about the challenge block or the mystery? When you asked me about block of the month. Somebody's asking about that. Okay, there's your finished block. Now, by cutting these stacked, obviously I'm getting a yin and a yang here on color. If you want it done like that 4-inch one that I showed you, where all the backgrounds are the same, you would not cut them stacked on each other. It's totally with what kind of pattern you are going to produce when you're doing this. I'm going to get over here so I can show you how this cuts, because it's really cool. Ouch.
Okay.
No, I'm not okay. I just dropped that on my foot.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Oh my gosh.
Not the end of the world.
Wow, sure painful enough.
Nah. When you're using the 8-inch templates, you start out with a 10-inch square. So if you are using a layer cake that's pre-cut, cool. That makes it even better. Get this over so you can maybe see it a little better. We'll adjust. But you want to start with this piece of the template in this corner. Still not getting it where you can see it very well. There we go. Just hold it in place. Trim here. Now I've got the two pieces stacked on top of each other. So we're going to get two pieces cut at once. I missed a point. Obviously it works a little better if you've got a really sharp blade. Now at this point, boy, I am working over my hands. There we go. Then when you get ready to do the other half of it, you're just going to put it in that corner. So you're only losing a little bit of scrap in the meantime. Now, when you go to cut these, you can do it with a 45 millimeter or you can do it with a 28 millimeter. I find the 28 millimeter just a little bit easier, and you're just going to chop right in there. You don't have to roll it or anything, you just cut it. It's marked so that you're not going to go through your seam allowance. You're not going to damage your seam allowance with that. And you can hear it when it comes down on that fabric to give you the cut that you need. And then it kind of eases out that bias that you've been seeing all along. And you can see here, I hope you can see here, that little tiny slit that it makes in there. And that's what gives you that movement in that curve. And they just go together so easily. Again, if you wanted to do them all with one background, you would just not layer them like this. Like on the one that was done with the 30s, I just stacked up several 30s prints, cut those out, and then the same with the background piece, I just stacked up several squares of the white and cut that out. I actually started that one cutting it out with an older style template, and then these came out and I went back and cut new ones because it just was so slick doing it this way. And then your block is ready to sew, and all you have to do is you're always going to start, and all of this is done in handy dandy pictures in her instruction booklet, telling you how you're going to lay out your pieces. You'll always start with this piece on the bottom, face up, and then this piece on the top, face down. And you're ready to start sewing. If you do a lot of these, you get more proficient and you really don't have to worry about pinning too much. I always do, because I tend to, if I don't pin it here and here, I tend to pull it a little bit there, and I like to keep that as straight as I can. Okay? Now, I'm going to turn this back up here so I can talk to you. I like to talk to you. Okay.
Answered your question, but I figured you could see it on there.
What's that?
Or at least she made another comment about the block of the month. Should be the last comment.
You wrote block 3 of the month patterns. Are you going to have more? Do we have to contact each fabric company?
Maybe you can call her later.
I'm going to have to call you because I'm not sure which one you're talking about, girl. I really don't know which one you're talking about. So we got so many things going on. But we'll be all right. We'll work it out, and then we'll get the answer to everybody else. Okay, now, has anybody got any questions about curve piecing and doing a drunkard's path? I love the drunkard's path, and I love to look online and look at all of the many, many ways that you can put it together. It reminds me a little bit of the log cabin block. There's a gazillion ways you can put the log cabin block together. And so the trick is just to make blocks. And then as you're doing that, then after you've gotten a bunch of them made, then you can start deciding how you want to put it together. When I did this little 4-inch one, I originally started out thinking I was going to make a king-size quilt out of 4-inch blocks. Must have been one of those days I had taken up drinking for a hobby, because there's no way on God's green earth I was ever going to get that finished. And it got put in a box and left there forever. And then when we moved down here to Florida, I pulled it out one day and I started sewing on it. And I just reached a point, I said, that's big enough. And that's perfectly okay, because now it's at a size where it's a good size for a snuggle-up quilt. Not quite a twin, but a little more than just a throw. And it's small enough that if I want to, I can quilt it on my domestic machine. Or I can send it out to be quilted, and it can get fanciful. So those are easy things to do. So if anybody's got any questions, this is a good time to ask them. Okay, last week, somebody asked about binding demos. I made a list of all of the suggestions that you came up with demos. I do want to ask you to put them in your comments if you've got anybody else has things they want to look at. I'm going to be cruising out looking for all kinds of things we can demo. There's a couple of really new fun tools that we can use, and I've been working on some new patterns using some new rulers. This is a never-ending hobby we have, and it's so wonderful to find all of those things. And I know when I go to Quilt Market, every vendor is showing us a new gadget and a new thing to learn. And so that's what I want to impart to you, is how to use all of those new gadgets. You may have picked them up over the years and they're sitting there collecting dust and you don't know how to use them. That's okay. Nobody knows everything. So if I can help you with that in the demos, we'll be doing that. But we are now at that point where we need to draw a name to win a prize. And Robin is going back to the magic number generator. And this person is also going to win a $10 credit on their account. So she is generating number. You hear the tumblers going, don't you?
You gotta find somebody who's actually on.
You better.
I know.
See, she gets the admin stuff.
Okay. There's one.
Did you get her?
I did.
Who have we got tonight?
Number 16.
Melinda Wellman. Congratulations. We will add a $10 credit to your account. If you girls have the ones that won those prizes tonight, if you are ordering something, give us a few minutes to do that so that you don't have to pay that whole invoice. Or if you want to go ahead and pay the invoice and we'll put it on there anyway and you can use it next time. It's not going to expire. It's not going to evaporate. It's going to be there for you to play with. Now, next week, next Thursday is the 17th? No, 19th, I think. 7 o'clock. We'll be right here. We'll have new fabrics to show you. We'll have a new demo to show you. And who knows what will happen between now and then, all the fun stuff we'll come up with. We do thank you all for coming and joining us tonight. I know this was a little bit shorter version than we've had in the past, but that's okay. Doesn't always have to be over an hour. We're just glad to have you here and love having you, love all of you, and can't wait to see all of your quilts. And if you have any questions about the challenge blocks or the mystery quilts, all you have to do is drop me an email and we'll be glad to answer those questions. Send it in Messenger if you want to, and we're good to go. So until next week, thank you again. Have a safe and happy week. Start thinking about buying a turkey. My goodness, can you believe it's Thanksgiving already? Doesn't seem like this year has lasted at all, and yet it's lasted forever. So thanks again, ladies. Talk to you later. See you next week. Good night.